Today's the topics that I would like to talk about, because someone has requested this topic, that is how to deal with difficult people. You see, in life we have to deal with difficult people, isn't it? Any difficult situation. And actually it reminds me, some times ago someone, she spoke to me that at one point that she was so crazy and so mad with her boss. So she said her boss is a terrible boss. And she was always being humiliated by the boss. And the boss always shouted at her, and like she been treated like a slave. And she's had lots of anger, ill will towards him. So he built up lots of anger. And to the extent that he was planning to kill her boss. So she said it's true. She said she's not joking. She said that time she was really into, her mind was really sucked into that. Because again and again thinking of how terrible her boss is. So she keep, and then she have lots of ill will and hatred towards the boss. So to the extent that she has so much ill will to the boss that she planned to kill him. So then she said that she planned to kill him, then she will commit suicide. So she said she would jump. She was working in Singapore. She told me that that time she was so depressed. She was really completely stressed out because she's worked about 15 hours, sometimes 20 hours, hardly sleep and working very hard. And she really stressed out, And on top, because of she's stressed out, there's a lot of agitation, irritation. And then this is how, she transferred a lot of anger to the boss and thinking. And then the more the mind, you get sucked into it, how terrible this person is. So she planned that, she would jump out, from this high-rise building, in Singapore. She said that to me. She said she's not joking. That time she's really in that mental state that she wants to kill her boss. So then she was really depressed, and she spoke to her. Fortunately, she spoke to her sister. And then she told her sister how terrible the boss was, and, she wanted to kill her. Then her sister looked at her. Yes, but why you want to kill your boss? All you need to do, you just resign. You don't have to work for your boss. And that moment, she just, it's true. Sometimes like we got sucked in, things like that, we just, create lots of suffering for ourselves, isn't it? Just a slight, small things, how, we make it, we manifest. Because this is how when the mind, when we get sucked in, sometimes we think that we won't do such a thing, but, given the right conditions, we do that. And she told me that it's just, and it's through my own experience, I know, like sometimes we always think that our suffering is come from that person. Only if I, get rid of this person, I be happy. My suffering is come from this person. I remember in one of the discourse that the Sariputta gave, he said that, if our suffering is come from outside, none of us here can get enlightened. Because we can't, a lot of things that we can't solve, isn't it? All the problems, and then we can't get rid of the people, isn't it? All the difficult people that causes us lots of pain and suffering. And that's why if a lot of people try to solve their problem, the sufferings, by looking out. And then they think that only, I get rid of this person, I'll be fine. I get rid of that person, I'll be fine. How many people we can get rid of? We can't, isn't it? Because we live in this world, we need to interact. We need to, that we think that everybody out there is difficult, and we got to get rid of them, we got to change them, and the world is terrible, we have to change them. We can't. And actually, we don't have to, isn't it? We don't have to. All we need to do is just to change ourselves, to look at ourselves. So rather thinking that is, our suffering coming from that. Actually, being with difficult people, you learn more. Actually, by associate with people that you like, you have to, because we have the same defilements. Then actually we are reinforce each other defilements. So we think each other is wonderful. You know, so because we have same defilements and we can't see ourselves until someone giving us hard time, press our button, then we're so agitated and so angry. Then we can really see how much agitation we have, anger we have. Sometimes we really thought that we're so wonderful. I remember when I was in Thailand. So I spent lots of times in solitude and seclusion. I remember that one of my job early in the morning, I will clean the cinema hall. So I enjoy that because I by myself, and lots of time you by yourself because you on your own and then so peaceful, so calm. I was so happy one morning, you know, after meditation, I went to the hall, I went to the cinema hall, I cleaned the cinema hall. And I was so peaceful and so happy. Then after immediately I finished my cleaning the cinema hall. And then someone stepped on my floor. I was really mad. I was thinking, my mind go on and on, you know, thinking that, see, is this person blind? Can't they see that, you know, the floor is clean? My mind go on and on. I was so agitated and irritated. And then after that, I just, hang on a minute. You know, just now you were so peaceful and calm. And sometimes we thought that we are almost enlightened, you know, because of no one there to press our button. So no one is going there to give us hard time. So sometimes that it is important that we can see ourselves. It's not we think that we are wonderful. You know, when someone criticizes us, we are so upset. That's why it's actually someone giving us hard time. Actually, that is we learn to look at ourselves. We learn to see, you know, ourselves, the defilements we have, how much anger we have. Sometimes, actually, it's not about that person. Sometimes the anger we have in ourselves, you know, the rise. Actually, it's just the trigger. It's not the person who makes us angry. Actually, the person is just a trigger. I can guarantee you, even the person that, you know, you think that the person makes you angry and cause you suffering. Even the person disappear or die, you still have the anger. It doesn't mean that the person no longer here and then you'll be happy ever after. No, it's there. So that is we be able to look at ourselves, look within. You know, rather thinking that our problem, our suffering coming from others. I remember when, you know, you've been in the world, sometimes you meet people so negative and, you know, giving me a hard time. Sometimes I have this self-pity, you know, go back, you know, say, why I have to put up with these people? Why these people so difficult and cause me so much suffering? You know, sometimes you have that, you know, like self-pity. And I was thinking that why I got to put up with these people? Then after that, I realized that, hey, hang on a minute. You know, I think that I have to put up with others. And I never thought that others have to put up with me. You know, sometimes we think that we have to put up with others. Sometimes we think that the person outside there is a difficult person. And then the other end might think that we are the difficult person. Isn't it? Just because we have different views and opinions, we don't agree with each other. That's why we like the people that we have same views and opinions. People disagree with us. That's why then we keep looking. We think that our suffering is come from outside. But we can't change others, isn't it? We can only change ourselves. Actually, for my own experience, that I find that by, you know, living with difficult people, actually I learn more. You know, they are my great teacher. They really help me to look at myself. I remember some years ago, so my friends, I was with my friend. So we had some argument. So we have disagreement, you know, with each others. So actually before that we have an agreement. Today we going to we go for shopping. So tomorrow we are going to, you know, to look for something. So then, but that day we have an argument. Then after that I was thinking, no, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to shopping with her. I'm not going to go with her. So I was very upset, you know. Then I have to show her that, you know, I'm not going to give in. So then I was thinking, okay, I'm going to tell her that I'm not going tomorrow. I'm not going shopping tomorrow. So as I walk towards my friends, you know, going to look for her to tell her that I'm not going because I was very upset. But deep down inside, I know that it's come from my sense of self, my ego, that, I just want to show her that, I'm not going to give him, I stand my ground and things like that. But deep down, I know that that is come from my sense of self, that if I'm going to say that, actually I reinforce my sense of self. But I was struggling. One deep down, you have the knowing, you know that. But on the other hand, the defilement is keep pulling you, come on, go and say that to her. Then as I walk to her, and I just said, I'm sorry. Just now, I shouldn't have argued with you. Please forgive me if I have said anything that, causes you any hurt or harm. And please forgive me. And the moment she just looked at me and she said, oh, you also please forgive me. And actually, the moment when I decided to say, I'm sorry, I feel so good. Before that, I was struggling, because they're holding on, And the moment when I said sorry, I have the sense of relief, the letting go of sense of self. I feel, and I'm so glad that I said that, So then this is how it causes so much suffering. So actually it doesn't matter if the person is really difficult, causes a lot of suffering. So even the person is really, nasty, said terrible thing to us, we can relate, we can deal with this person with kindness and compassion. Kindness is not, kindness is forgiveness is also, kindness. So we kind to the person, we accept the person, who the person is. So that we forgive that person, it's okay, whatever the person's do, that is we always forgive. Sometimes you say, how many times we forgive this person? And they do the same thing. And, and I realize myself, I can see from myself that I can easily forgive someone that I liked. And I find it very difficult to forgive someone that I disliked. I find it a bit difficult. It's quite easy that you forgive someone that I liked, especially someone that I don't like. Immediately I jump in and say, look, this person do this thing again. Because I feel good. Because give me a sense of it's again reaffirm my view of this person, how bad this person is. I feel good. So with the person that I like, I find that it's much easier. And the same thing is easier that we transfer our suffering to our anger to the person that we dislike. But to the person that we like. But sometimes when we have the anger, we have this emotional upset, when we have this trick, and sometimes that even the person that we dislike is not there, we still got upset. Then we transfer our suffering to those who are innocent, or those who's really, those who really love us so much, especially our loved ones, that we because they're always there, they always forgive us. So we hurt our loved ones much more than anyone else because they're always there, So that's why I can notice that how, that, and even, like how I cannot accept, like, for example, like someone that I liked, even I see they have done something that I don't think that is right. And I try to pretend that I can't see. I remember that's many years ago when I was in Thailand. I was still a lay person. So one of the Thai ladies, she was very good. She used to look after me and very kind to me. I really like her so much, But of course, then someone did tell me that, she's not very honest, like that. But I don't really believe what other people said because I like this person, and she's really kind. But of course, until one day I really know that she's not being honest. And I feel guilty that I shouldn't think of her like that. I feel guilty. But actually it's true, I've seen it. But I was struggling so much to try to push away and try to deny that she did that, she's like that. And I have lots of struggling. Then after that, okay, I just said, come on. If you really have loving kindness towards someone, you accept that person, whoever that person is. So not to deny, that, this person. That's why this is how we always say, if we want to see we see things that we want to see. So we don't want to see things that we don't see it. We try to push it away. We pretend that it's not there. So that's why I can see myself how, that's why sometimes like the person that you like, actually, that we can't see ourselves because we reinforce our own defilements and we feel good, And that's why, and I just accept that and I look at it. Yeah, I know that, that, okay, she have done that, I forgive, Because we cannot always, if always people said, yes to you, whatever you said, they said, you are right. And then, you don't see yourself. And also it's just impossible that, you always get someone to always agree with you. Maybe ideally that, but in reality we can't, isn't it? And actually it reminds me of, of one of the jokes that we have to be careful of what we wish. So we wish that, maybe my wife or my husband always listen to me, always agree with what I said. But we can't, we can't find, we always, even husband and wife, even with parents or brothers and sisters, we cannot have all the same views and opinions, isn't it? We have different views and opinions. We cannot have, think exactly the same way, We can't. There's no such a person, And then it reminds me of one of the jokes, I mentioned it before last time, that a man went to a restaurant and with this ostrich, this big bird, and they ordered this one burger and one fries and a Coke. Then he turned around and asked the big bird, the email, said, what do you want? He said, I have the same. So then the waitress, get them the order and give them the Coke, the fries, and Coke. So he said $9.40, and he put his hand into his pocket, and it's $9.40, exactly $9.40. So he paid them. Then continuously for 2 weeks, they've been going to the same restaurant, order the same thing. And then after 2 weeks, that's all. And then the waitress said, is it that you're having the same thing? He said, no, today I want something different. So today I'm going to have a steak, baked potatoes, and some salad. Then he turned around and asked, the ostrich, what do you want? He said, the same. So the waitress went and, took the order and gave them the steak and the baked potatoes and salad. Then he said, it's $32.62. Then he put his hand into the pocket. He take out exactly $32.62. And this waitress couldn't hold her curiosity that, how come each time you have exact amount, And, then how come, you always have exact, no more, no less, the amount. So then she said, how come you do? They said, he said, some times ago when I was cleaning my attic, and I found an old lamp, oil lamp. Then I started. He said I started to rub the lamp, and a genie come out. Genie said, I then give him 2 wishes. Then he said, my first wish was that I always have enough money to get what I want. So whether it's a drum of milk or, a gallon of milk or a rose rice, anything, I always have the money there. Then the waitress said, isn't it so brilliant, that you would never run out, rather than you ask for $1 million or that is you will run out. But this you never run out. It's so brilliant. So say, so how about to your second wish? Then this man said, my second wish was a chick with long legs and always agree with what I said. So then she got this email, ostrich, Sometimes we always think that we want others people to always agree with us, We can't. You can't find such a person. So we hold on to our views and opinions. We think that the person is wrong, how terrible the person is. And that's why we create lots of suffering for ourselves. Actually, it's not what we're experiencing is really matter. It's how we relate. Sometimes we think that the object is a problem. The object is not a problem. For example, someone said something bad, terrible to us. And actually, the person said anything and then done, finish. But the problem is we again and again, we revisit, We go on and on and on. It's just like someone, we got struck by an arrow, Then, the wise one, we just know that, it's painful, it's unpleasant. Someone said something nasty to you, it's unpleasant, it's terrible. And that's it, it's finished. But the problem is we pick up the arrow, we poke ourselves a few more times. That is the suffering we have. We go on and on and on. That is the suffering that we can avoid. That we create ourselves this suffering. So that's why we understand that, this is we understand that, we can't change others. We can't practice for others. We understand that this is the law of karma. Even other people being nasty to us, it's fine. Because we don't have to responsible for that person's action, isn't it? But if we are very upset, angry, and sometimes we retaliate, we try to hurt the other person, then we have to responsible for our own action, our own deed, isn't it? So that's like we don't have to, But sometimes we have that, we want to retaliate, we want to make that person feel guilty, we want to punish that person. So then we make us feel good. I remember, so when I was in Thailand, and I was used to in the kitchen to have to cook. So I make these yogurt drinks. So we need to have some yogurts, to make the yogurt drinks. So usually the other Thai lady, she used to bring me some of those yogurt, so I make yogurt drinks. So I was putting on the table. Then I walk away, I turn around, the yogurt disappear. I was so upset. I said, how can people live in monastery do such a thing, Then I feel it's and then my friend said, yeah, it's terrible. How come people do such a thing, And then we want the person feel guilty and feel terrible. Underneath we want to punish that person. So my friend and myself, we started to write on the board that, someone, have taken this yogurt and we write on the board. Then because that moment I was upset. Then after that, when I calm down and sit down and I reflect on the law of karma, then I ask myself, because each one of us know what we have done. And I ask myself, if I done something that I don't feel that is right, it's really bother me. And actually, other people don't have to punish me. It's enough myself, my guilt will punish myself. And the moment I, that time, the moment I think, when I reflect on that, I said, then I can imagine, I can put myself onto the other person's shoes that, that person really feel terrible. Then that moment I was really softened, my heart then I went there, I rub off, Then my friend said, why did you rub it off? I said, it's enough. I said, the person, have enough suffering. I said, we don't add more suffering to that person. We have this compassion, we understand. Actually, they are the one who have to bear the consequence, that what have they do. So we understand that. So we have this compassion, understanding, towards that person. And I remember that how we sometimes we think that we got to, tell the person, correct the person, change the person, you're wrong, you shouldn't do that. And actually, sometimes we can't, because we can only work with our own defilements, isn't it? We can't work with others people's defilements. We can only change ourselves. We can only practice for ourselves. We can't practice for others. So you have to, based on this understanding, they have their own karma. I remember just not long ago, just about a month or 2 months ago, and someone came to me and she said that, and this person, she's working with those self-harm and suicide. So she's working with this, she's doing this counseling, and she's working with that. And she told me that, she asked me how to free herself, because she said that each time she comes back, she feels so down, and she feels like lots of sadness in her. Like she tried to help. And she said that she know that is not quite right, that she know that she's been like emotionally involved. She asked me, how do I free myself, by not getting involved. Then I told her, because I said, you are emotionally involved and your sense of self getting in the way. Because you think that I should be able to help everybody. I should be able to, somehow you can't help the person. You think that somehow you're a failure. You can't help it, because it comes from the sense of self, our ego. And I told her, I said, you have to understand. I said, the person, have their own karma, and the person have to work with their own defilements. We can't work with the other person's defilements, and we can't practice for the person. We can only practice for ourselves. And I said that, and we can only do our best. Even though we can't solve, other people's problem, but at least we can give our support, our care, love, and kindness, And actually sometimes this is all people need, isn't it? Then we can offer our care and love. That is, we can always care. We can always support that, encourage that person. All they need to have some encouragement, to encourage them. All they need. So I said, but because of you are getting involved, and then you think that, that, and then sometimes we're making others people's problem to be our problem. We identify this is me and mine, my problem. I can't solve the other problem, and we try to change the world. So we try to change, to make a better world, but we can't. But because this is because of this come from the sense of self that we want to help. We are not accepting, the person is, the situation. So accepting, we have to come to a place of accepting. That then we be able to acknowledge that we accept that, yeah, it's fine, we can't solve everybody's problem. So that this person, like, she's like she making others people's problem to be her own problem. Actually, it's none of my business, isn't it? That's why it's important sometimes we keep telling ourselves, none of my business. Whatever other people do is fine. But we focus on ourselves. Make sure that we don't do it. We focus on ourselves. So it's important that, how do we, it's not to deal with this difficult people and difficult situation. That actually is the most important, that how we change our way of looking at things, how we related to this moment, to this situation. Do we relate to this situation, to this moment with kindness, with compassion, with gentleness, with the softness? Or we retaliate, or we just, a lot of anger and agitation? Actually, it's not helping us. So we have to look, if we want to solve, the problems, so the first thing, we have to look in within ourselves. So that's why it's important we be able to reflect on this, the non-self and the karma, and that we not be able to help everybody, because sometimes we so much, we identify ourselves with all the situations, we take it to be me and mine. So then one of the ways to help us, that is to have this, to develop this positive attitude, to arouse this positive emotion. So we look at the things that, no one is wholly bad. I remember some times ago, someone gave me one of the poems that was written by Hitler. And he has so much admiration towards the mother and respect, love. And actually no one is wholly, bad. The Buddha said there is no such person that's wholly blame or wholly praise. No such person. They have the good quality. Because if we want to find fault, we can always find fault. So if we focus on the person, what's the person have done, the bad, the unwholesome deeds, then actually this is what we put in our mind, isn't it? Because we will keep thinking of that person, the bad quality, the unwholesome deed they have done. So this is what we put in our mind. So if we started to look at the person, good qualities, and then we change our attitude of looking at things. So, for example, I remember when my mother just passed away, I have a lot of sadness, and I feel that I have lost her. But when I change my way of looking at things, I have her from these years. Then I feel so good because rather than looking at that, I have lost her, but I'm looking at I have this person, this wonderful person, this this kind lady, that for all these years. So I must have done lots of good to deserve to have this person, to change our attitude, a positive attitude by looking at things. Now, even if you find that your husband or your wife run away with your best friend, so you say, it's okay. At least they run away with my best friend. It's not run away with with Tom, Dick, or Harry. At least someone that I know that is look after my wife, or my husband. Positive attitude. That is. So it's then we arouse that positive emotion, because sometimes this is how because this is how we put in our mind. If we put the junk into our mind. So this is what we have, because sometimes not only the body need food, actually the mind need food too, isn't it? So if we put all the junk in the mind, we're looking at the person, thinking how bad the person is. So we're thinking about this person, how negative. Actually, we ourselves is negative. So we generate that negativity. So because of this, if we are drowned in all this negativity, actually it's very draining. It's use up lots of energy. So when we look at something, beautiful, so that's why we develop this perception of beautiful. So whether the word is beautiful or ugly, it all depends on ourselves, isn't it? Our heart. If we develop this beautiful heart, we look at the person, all we can see only that person, the good in that person. So we develop that. This good quality, they have this beautiful, have this positive attitude, looking at, the positive things. So when we look at the positive things, actually ourselves grow. So for me, I find that it's more effective that to point out the person, the good that person have done, rather than to keep telling the person how bad you are. I find that it's more effective. Rather than keep reminding that person that, how bad you are and what you have done. That person knows, isn't it? People know. Everybody deep inside know what's right, what's wrong. We don't have to always go around and tell the person, you are wrong, how bad you are. No. So if we keep telling the person that how good you are, how wonderful you are, look at the person's goodness. Actually, it's helping that person to develop this quality. You remind the person of their own good qualities, then this person grow this quality, and it also help us because we focus on the good qualities, and it's also give this person a sense of self-respect and also confidence in that actually I'm not too bad, and create this good quality. They say sometimes we always think that our enemy is out there. No, the Buddha said we ourselves is our worst enemy. We create this, a lot of suffering for ourselves. We try to look out ways is our enemy, but we don't know that the enemy is inside here. We create that suffering for ourselves, a lot of suffering. Actually, it's unnecessary suffering for ourselves. Then actually we be able to look within. So to develop this positive attitude. And because of this sense of self, for example, sometimes I feel so hurt. So, how come that person said such things, and that person accusing me, of doing things that I didn't do, and I'm not that kind of person, because we always have an idea of who we are, whether we are a nice person, sweet person, And when someone says something, someone said that we are not, then because it's against, our own self-interest, that it's not. Then we feel we are not happy with that. So then I realized that, actually I start to ask myself, where is the suffering coming from? Is this the suffering coming from that person? Or come from me? I can guarantee you, whenever you feel you have lots of pain and suffering, you investigate and understand it and look at it. I can guarantee you it's nothing outside the sense of self. It's your own sense of self, the ego, causes that lots of suffering. And this is really, so that's why we are our worst enemy. We create lots of suffering. Actually, sometimes we even bind ourselves, we put ourselves into the prison, So we have a lot of ideas who we are, and that's why we have this fixed, ideas and perceptions and how things should be, how other people should behave in a certain way, how we should behave in a certain way. So we put ourselves in the box, So we cannot think outside the box. We only think like that. So when something is outside, then we couldn't accept. We tried to put everybody inside. So actually, we ourselves, create, our own prison. So we bound ourselves, we put ourselves in. We bound, So we create that suffering for ourselves. So it's just like Ajahn Brahm used to say, the place that you don't want to be is a prison. It's the place that you want to be, it's fine. Even if you are in the prison, if you're happy with that, you're free. You don't put yourself in prison. Talk about prison. I remember that there's another joke that's with the prison, and with that there was a couple. The husband was midnight. He got up, and then the wife noticed that the husband got up and went to the kitchen for a while, and he was having a cup of coffee and looking out and staring out the window. And because been a while, his husband, the wife noticed the husband had, gone out, but why is he still haven't come back? So she went down and saw her husband just, looking out the window, staring out, and looking there. And then she said, what's the matter, darling? So the husband said, oh, nothing, is okay. I know there is something wrong with you because you're just, sitting there having a cup of coffee and, looking out. Then he said that, and then he sighed. He said, yeah, you remember 20 years ago when we were kissing at the veranda and your father came out with a shotgun. He said, you either marry my daughter or you'll be sentenced, you'll be put into prison for 20 years, sentenced 20 years, Then the wife looking at him, yes, darling, I remember. Then the husband sighed. And I just realized that, today I would have, my 20 years sentence would have ups today. Sometimes we think that we have so much suffering, we have to be with this person, my suffering, So that's why sometimes you think that, and that's why sometimes I ask sometimes I ask some of the husband and wife, how many years, please, you put. Then sometimes, some is life imprisonment, some people say. out of it. I said, so they said, this is how we no one is wholly bad. You look at the good quality of that person to develop that. So develop these positive qualities, to develop this, to arouse this positive emotion, because it's important. Because if we have this beautiful heart, positive, when we're happy, because sometimes why people snappy and angry, because they're not happy, isn't it? When you're in good mood, you won't scold people when you're in good mood, isn't it? You don't say, when you're really, stressed out, you tend to be more snappy. So that's why when you have this, we have this beautiful quality, and, sometimes, but it's okay, if you discover that you don't have this positive attitude, you don't have this beautiful quality, it's fine. You don't have to feel guilty that you don't have this quality. It's okay. Because yet, you see, one of the beautiful, the beauty of this teaching is that each one of us, the Buddha said, we have this Buddha nature. We have this, each one of us have this deep inside us. We have this potential. It's not that only those special beings able to do that. No, each one of us have that. So it's deep inside us. So it's just yet. If we discover that we are very negative, it's fine. So we know that we are negative, we acknowledge that, we are not being denied that. Then we know that this is something that we need to develop. So it's just that. So we deep inside us, waiting for us to uncover. We have this, the Buddha says the nature of the mind is radiant, it's lucid, it's beautiful, it's deep inside. We all have this. It's deep inside us. Each one of us. It's not only the special beings only be able to do that. So just it's there, it's already there. So if we want to solve the world problem and we want to solve our difficult situation, all we need to do is look in. It's not in, out, inside there. So then we uncover this beautiful heart deep inside us. It's just like the Buddha's give one of the teaching of this, the dirt remover. He says just like the gold. When you dig the gold from the mine, so with all the dirt, so you need to wash away, isn't it? So we have to wash away the coarser defilement first. So we wash away that. Then after that, then you have to burn the gold to take away the impurities. It's just like the teachings of all the Buddhas. They said that we refrain from unwholesome, cultivate good, purify our mind. It's the same thing. It's like, because sometimes lots of people get confused. Let go. We can't just let go. So we let go of the coarser defilements. So we purify our speech and conduct, bodily actions. The coarser defilements. It's just like we let go of the unwholesome. So we cultivate good, cultivate wholesome. So that is like, it's just like we wash away the dirt. Then we've left with the wholesome. So we have the wholesome. So with this wholesome, because wholesome is we only, when we do something good, we feel happy, isn't it? We have lots of joy. So only the happy mind can do it. So with this, we're still holding on to wholesome. So we can't let go. We can only let go of the unwholesome. So it's just like the ladder, we let go. So we still hold on to this wholesome. And with this wholesome, the goodness, because then we purify our mind. So we refine, Then that is, we free ourselves. That is enlightenment. So when that is beyond good or bad, but we cannot say that we just let go, we can't. So that's why we have to, it's a gradual training. So it's okay. If you sometimes you find ourselves like, we have 3 steps forwards and 2.5 steps backwards. It's fine. Sometimes again we find ourselves, we get caught again, we jump out from a prison and we jump in again, in and out. Sometimes we do that. But it's okay because it's a gradual training. It's possible, and okay. So this is the last joke about jumping in and out in the prison. So before I end the talk, this is the last one. It's a dessert, okay. So and then there was a blonde. She was driving, and then she tried to escape a car, and she gone into the opposite side of the road, and she had an accident with the other car. So both of them stop, and look at whether anything happened to the car. So this blonde quickly look at her car. Wow, her car is okay. Then the other guy came out, looks at the car. Oh, it's a bit dent there. And he was very upset because he loved his car like his wife, And he was very upset. Then he's asked, ask the blonde. And she agreed with that. He draw a circle. He said, you stand inside the circle. So she stand inside there. She's let her stand. Then he started to go to his back of his car. He pulled out his cricket bat, He started to smash his all the windows, screen. And then this blonde giggle, giggle, half laugh, Then he said, what's so funny? He was so upset, What's so funny? Why you giggle? And then this blonde said, oh, nothing. So then he started to, because he more upset, then he started to, smash more, the bed, the bonnet, everything. And then she's again, and then he heard this blonde giggle again, giggle. Then he was even more angry. He said, what's so funny? Why are you giggling? He said, oh, nothing. So he more upset. So he's almost, smashed the whole car, down, He's just hitting all the car and smashed the car. And then she giggled even more, and very happy. And then he just couldn't hold himself, He said, and then this time even worse, she's laughed until she's rolled on the floor. And then he was so upset. Why is it so funny? Why are you laughing? And what is it so funny? And then she said, do you know? Then she said, okay. And then because just now when you didn't notice, 3 times, when you turned around, you started to smash my car. Actually, I jumped out from the circle. So it's because when you turn around, you say, when you didn't notice me, I jumped out from the circle, you didn't notice me. So and then she was so happy because he didn't notice him, So that's why sometimes people, I remember when I first came here, someone, because I came from different background, sometimes I can't get the jokes, and actually remind me of another jokes, So it's a bonus, okay? So there's still these three ladies, they're reborn in the heaven. So, and this 3 is one is a brunette, and one is redhead, and one is blonde. So then they said that okay, you can each there are altogether 200 steps. So if you be able each step, I tell a joke. If any one of you laugh, so you fail. So the brunette make to 45 steps because she laughed, she failed. She can't go to heaven. And then the redhead, she make to altogether 300 steps. Now I remember 300 steps. So the redhead is 200 steps because she laughed. And then she failed. Then after that, come to this blonde. She make 299 steps, almost 1 step. She go to heaven. And then the 300 steps that when they started to tell the jokes, before he started to tell the jokes, and she was laughing, they said, why you laugh? I not even started to tell the joke yet, you laugh. He said, yeah, because I got the first one. She took 299, got the first one. So that's last time I was like that, I said, why people laughing? I don't know. Because I didn't get it. So I offer this for your reflections. May this teaching be of benefit to all of you, and may this teaching help you to develop this beautiful heart that deep inside you and really freeing you and help you to free from all suffering. And thank you for listening. There's one question from India. Said, I always forgive my partner, but she doesn't show any forgiveness in return. How should I deal with this? It's fine. Since you'll be able to forgive her the fact that she doesn't show any forgiveness in return. Isn't it? You forgive, if you really forgive that person, even though you forgive her for not, for not be able to show any forgiveness in return. So you still forgive. That is a true kindness, Like some people complaining, I'm not being accepted, and people, are not accepting me and go on and on. I said, can you accept that the fact that you are not being accepted? Because we can't accept that people don't accept us. I said, why not you accept the fact that, you're not being accepted? The same thing. Why not you forgive that person, even though that person don't show any forgiveness in return? So I hope these answer your questions and make sense to you. When you said or do something and someone always interpret in a negative manner, should you try to explain or leave it alone to avoid further offense? Yes, it's happened to me. Sometimes if the person have negative mentality, no matter what you said, even though you didn't mean that, it's come up from the other end, it's negative. So we can't do anything. So we just accept the person to where the person is. It's actually happened to me. Was happened to me in the past. I tried so hard, tried to explain to the person. Oh, I didn't mean that. It's really stressed me out. Then I realized that okay, I let it go. Whatever the person think of me, if she think that I'm terrible, I'm negative, it's fine, because I find that it's really stress. And it's really very draining. So it's okay. Yeah. So just leave it alone and avoid further offense. Yeah. Because sometimes you can't. You try. The more you try to explain to that person, and then you sometimes I get into this heat. This heat up argument. try to explain. Then I learn from that. Next time I just let it go. So yeah, there's 2 questions. Is there any questions or comments here? No? Okay. So we can end tonight's talks and we pay respect to the Buddhas and